periphery. Typically, if I see somebody like they're like really tight with my dad, and I'm good.
Hi.
Talking to me?
No. Hey, Tracy.
Hi, Claire. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks.
Good.
Yay. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
You bet. Taylor, Micaiah, are y'all going to turn on your cameras or no?
I'm finishing up getting dinner out and on the table, so I'll probably stay off for a few minutes, but we might turn it on here in a minute.
I get it. We're going to. How is y'all's Monday? Not everybody at once. Yep, Mary's Monday was good. I had a good Monday because of Mary. Mary and I work together. She keeps me in line. She is amazing. Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. How was your Monday?
A Monday.
A Monday. A Monday. It's not over. It is not over. Hey, Christy. Can't hear you. You're muted. There you go.
Hey, Michelle Stewart.
Huh?
This is the first time I've laid eyes on Michelle Stewart in months.
Well, let's see. There's 9 of us so far. We have 50 registered. And I've gotten emails today from a few that aren't here yet. So I know and hope that they'll be coming on. If everybody could let me know in the chat kind of what you're looking for as far as like what you're wanting to get from this, that would be great. You know, if you're working on home renovations, if you're looking at remodeling, if you're looking at building, if you're looking at purchasing or selling, and you may not be doing it right now. It may be something you're looking to do way in the future. I'm just curious as to, I want to make sure we cover everybody's needs, even by out. Now, so somebody just joined and it's only their phone number. And so I'd really love to know who that is. And they're muted. It's a 350-6076.
It's Melissa Bradley. I'm on the road, so I was just going on mute.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Holly Hughes, I'm so excited to see you. She can't even hear me.
Who?
So Holly, it says Holly Burris. I know her as Holly Hughes. I haven't seen her in over 20 years since high school. So I'm so excited to see her.
Oh my gosh.
I can't hear you, darling. You're muted. Ask to unmute. There you go. No.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. We'll get
Yay! See, I'm old. I don't know how to do this stuff.
Oh, I know my children have to constantly, they're like, "Mom."
It's a scary world.
I know. I know.
How do I go? Okay, I see all my options. I always did this on a computer. It's the first time I've ever done it on a phone.
The phone is different.
Yes.
I've done it on the phone while I'm driving.
Oh, Claire.
Don't talk to me. No, don't go there.
Okay.
Um, undergoing home repairs, but not on purpose, Taylor. Oh, bless. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because we're after 6. And so some of you have emailed me your responses. Some of you, if put them in the chat, if you want to tell me, please tell me what you're hoping to get out of this so that I make sure and cover everybody's needs and wants. If you have a question, please put it in the chat as well. That way, hopefully we're not talking over one another. I'm sure some of you have been on Zooms, and it gets a little hairy when there's more than one of us on here. And so I want to make sure that we try to do this in as organized a fashion as possible. So I know a lot of you have probably seen that I recently remodeled my own home. It was my 5th remodel. I've also built 3 new constructions, and I've been selling real estate for 19 years. So the other thing is my degree is in family and consumer sciences. So when you hear somebody talk about that they have a degree in interior design, their degree is in that field. So I've had a lot of architecture, interior design courses, all those things. And then I had the education component so that I can teach it. So this is kind of a natural thing. So I'm really excited to be able to kind of come full circle. So when I interviewed, I was not intending to do this remodel myself. I have a lot of plates spinning right now in my world, and I'm a single mother of 2. And when I interviewed my 4th contractor, everybody kept coming in way above my, we're talking 30 to 50,000 above my budget. And I finally just was like, I questioned every one of them. And hang on, someone's texting me, their link isn't working. And so I finally said, I don't understand why this is costing so much when I've done this before. And I know these prices. And I kept getting the excuse of, well, lumber has just tripled and gone through the roof and all these things. And then I got the excuse of, and it's going to take at least 6 to 9 months. And I was like, there is no way. Like, why? Like, I mean, it's not even, I mean, I know deer season's coming up, but no. And so I pressed him on it. And he said, well, what's your hourly rate? And if you don't know, I've recently written a book, and I even write in there about your hourly rate. I calculated it. So I'm real clear on what my hourly rate is. So I gave it back to him and I said, oh, here it is. Here's my hourly rate. What's yours? And it wasn't the same. And he said, well, then you may want to just do it yourself. All right, thanks. And I just let him out the door. So I decided to do it myself. And then within 2 days, I had contacted all my subcontractors and had quotes in from all of them, and then scheduled them all to come and start the following week. I was not going to put up with it, because then I realized all this is child care management. I mean, literally, you're just managing children all day long, and I wasn't going to put up with that crap. So all I had to do was make a schedule. If I knew the order of operations of what comes next, then I could just schedule everybody in line. And if I had my quotes and I knew my budget, it was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, literally, all I had to do was make phone calls and open a door. What else is there? Now, you must understand, you have to have expectations going into something. Something's always going to be unexpected. Someone's never going to show up, and you're going to be disappointed with something. And so if you have that going into it, you're going to be fine. So my hardwood guys got COVID. I had to scramble and get new quotes and new hardwood guys in the middle of a project. My tile guy did not show up, so I had to get a new one that was comparable so that I could stay on budget. So those are the hurdles. If you don't put a timeline on your project and you just go with it, just to take it as it comes, and you just kind of let things roll off your back, you're going to be much happier. I believe Mary emailed all of you my vendor list today. Did you all receive that? So my vendor list, it has all of my subcontractors that I used for everything. I mean, everything. And if you need somebody that's not on there, let me know. So it looks like I did my whole house, and I did to an extent. I still got a bathroom that needs a toilet replaced and faucets replaced in the tub because I can't use them right now. So I was determined to go ahead and move in. I've got 2 other working bathrooms. And so it's okay that I'm going to get it done. I didn't do anything with the exterior. I wanted to paint it. And I've got to do landscaping at some point. But that's going to be phase 2 or phase 3. It's money, and I didn't plant a tree in the backyard. So, you know, I mean, it can't all be done in one day. I mean, I'm building Rome here. So, you know, it is what it is. So if you look around your house and you say, I need this done, I need this done, I need this done, just know you also got to live in it too. And you don't have to do it all at once. A lot of you have said you're looking for passive income properties. You're looking for flips. You're looking for remodels. You're looking for Airbnbs. My realtor in me says that the biggest thing you're going to need to focus on is not necessarily the work that needs to be done, but the area in which you're purchasing. That's going to bring you the biggest return on investment, more so than any of the cosmetics, more than any of the pretties. Because you can always put lipstick on a pig on any property. It doesn't matter. But where it is, you cannot change. And so you need to focus on the where, not the what. Does that make sense? All right. So let's see. Mary, can you do me a favor and look on my Facebook page and make sure nobody's asking questions of how to get on and stuff? Home renovations, where do I even start? So I would start, it's going to depend on your project. And I would focus on what's going to bring you the most return on your investment. Here's what I also know for sure. If you're not planning on staying where you currently are for another 5 more years, you're not going to need to spend any large amount of money. Okay. You're just not. If you know you're going to move in another 1 to 2 years, you're not going to need to spend any large amount of money. You have to stay in a home for a minimum of 5 years to get your return on investment, at least, if not more. It depends on what area of town you're in, as to how quick that micro market raises its market return. Does that make sense? So that's why I was saying, when you're looking for rentals and passive income properties, it's more important to focus on where it's located rather than what it looks like. You can focus on the things you can change, not the things you can't change. Or, I mean, focus on what you can change, because you can never change the location, and things like that. So where do you start? You need to focus on where you're going to get the most return. You're always going to get the most return on your kitchens and baths. I know you hear that. That's a no-brainer, all these things. However, then you just need to break it down even more. And so I need someone to throw that out to me. Like, give me your scenario. What are you dealing with? What are your projects? What are you wanting to work on? And then we'll evaluate it from there.
Kitchen, 2 full baths.
2 full baths. And so how much longer do you intend to stay there, Michelle?
Oh, we'll be here at least for another, 10 years.
So especially with bathrooms, you need to understand that any and all granite places have what are called remnants. And so quartz is a huge product right now. It's also very expensive. All of your stone manufacturers deal in quartz and granite and marble. So you can call all of them, you can give them dimensions of your countertops, and then you specifically need to ask them for their remnants. Have them send you pictures, go out to their mills and look at them. But you're going to be able to get remnant pieces for a quarter of the price of what you would normally pay for anything else. I did that in my master bath, and I was able to get countertops for basically nothing. And so that's the best way to update your master baths. The other thing is that I put G&W Lighting and Home on that vendor list that we sent you. So I have used them for 17 years. They will actually come out to your house and give you opinions. They'll bring books. If you have pictures of things you want to use, they'll match it and beat the price. I mean, they are phenomenal to work with. So if you have pictures, they do much more than just lighting. So I buy all my hardware. I buy all my lighting through them. I'll buy my rugs through them. I even take pictures of furniture, and I buy furniture discounted through them. And then, I mean, I have bought all the mirrors for my house. I've been able to buy mirrors that are customized cheaper from them than I have been from a glass company, which is crazy. So I really encourage you to, like I always say, quotes are free. So you're gonna be able to get quotes, and I really encourage you to do that with any and all of your things. But for your bathrooms, the best thing to do is to get new hardware, new plumbing fixtures, and then the remnant countertops. And the rest of it's just paint, which you can do on your own. You may not want to do it on your own, but you can. So Jerry Harrington that's on there, and then Jose Quintanilla on there. Both of them are licensed, insured, and bonded. And they're both amazing contractors that can do sheetrock repair. They can do paint. They can do whatever you need, and get a quote from both of them. And then, you know, I think that's where you start. Does that help? Yeah, G&W Lighting. You can ask for Wade or ask for Zach. Both of them are very helpful. So I know Holly, Holly's still here. Holly, you emailed me, and you were asking about what's better to do, fix your fireplace or put in French doors. So you don't use your fireplace, do you? So then put in French doors, because they're going to give you a better return. Okay. And there's a ton of houses that are older homes that don't have a functional fireplace. But your French doors are going to give you better lighting and a better feel for the home, and they're going to be much more useful. And if you do those, then thousands of dollars on the masonry work that you're going to need for your fireplace. And you need to go ahead and do it now so that you enjoy it too before you sell one day. That's the other thing. We don't do these things so that we can enjoy them. We typically do them right before we sell, and we need to do them now. I know a lot of times if you live in an older home, and sometimes it's not even an older home, if your doors don't shut, if your windows don't shut well, you need to have your home evaluated by an engineer. I put Hank Bray on there. He's chair of engineering at UALR. He's a civil and a structural engineer. So when he comes out, he's going to be able to evaluate and tell you everything. He's going to be able to tell you everything that's wrong with it and everything to do to repair it. And so when you get his report, then you're going to need to submit that to a foundation company to make any and all the repairs. That would be your first step in doing anything, because after you fix the foundation, then your floors are going to mess up, and then the floors, the sheetrock, and everything else. Like I said, you're going to need to know the order of operations for whatever project it is. And that's really key. I can't recommend him enough. The other question is, the other thing is that when anytime any of these people come out to give you quotes or opinions, always ask them the question of, well, who else do you know? Or who do you recommend for this? They're a resource that you need to utilize. Merrick Plumbing is my plumber. So I've known him since the 6th grade. And I've been able to use him, and you'll also be able to use these contractors' discounts to buy all your stuff. And so that's what I've done. So like I was able to go to Southern Pipe and use his account and buy all my fixtures at a discount, and then just pay him straight, pay him directly for it. Does that make sense? So back to lighting and fixtures and hardware. Many of us shop online, or if you go to Light Innovations or things like that, I've done that. I've taken pictures, I've emailed those pictures to Wade, and many times he's half the price. And so it's been extremely beneficial. It saves me a lot of time and money. Also, I've bought drapes from them. They're good quality. They're like something from the Pottery Barn, and they're half the price. So if nothing else, if you're driving to Dallas one day or driving to the beach, I just encourage you to at least stop in the showroom and take a look around and see what it is. And then you'll have an idea of everything you can buy from them. What is everybody else dealing with? Becca, you're always doing a home project. Susan? You are too. Yeah. And so, I think the other thing, flooring. Yeah, new flooring. So I have a contractor's account at ProSource in Maumelle, and you're welcome to use that at any time and go and order under my name. I don't care. You can use, so that way you get the 20% discount. You can order any and all kinds of tile. You can order any engineered hardwood. You're going to be able to order anything except for site finished hardwood floors. And so the thing is you're not going to be able to charge anything. You've got to pay for it when you purchase it. But you're still going to be able to utilize my discount. So that's ProSource in Maumelle. That is not on that vendor list. And
sorry, Claire, I couldn't get my cursor over to my mute button. But who do you know for attic insulation? Because that's going to be like another biggie down the road.
Yeah. So for attic insulation, I love to use whomever you use for your pest control, because they lace it with pesticides for rats and squirrels. So that way you don't have to worry about it.
Wow, I had no idea.
It's kind of great. And so I mean, we can all go to Home Depot and rent an insulation blower for a day and blow it ourselves. But if they do it, then it comes already done and has all that in it, and it's there forever. So what the rodents do, of course, is they get in there and they use the insulation for their nests. And then this way, when they eat it, it eliminates them, and then they just leave your attic. So it's a twofer. It's a little more expensive. Again, get a quote from multiple Terminex, Currys, from all of them. See who's better. But that's the route that I would go long term. Again, evaluate how long are you going to be in your house? How much of an investment do you want to spend here? It's like, don't replace all your windows if you're not going to be there for another 5 years to enjoy them. If you're moving in the next 2 years, you don't need to do that. But yeah, you definitely need to call a pest control company for blown insulation because it comes laced with pesticides. Flooring, again, I put my tile guy's name and number on there. I also put my hardwood floor guy's name and number on there, Mike Keys. I've been using him for over 10 years. He's a great resource. And so if you ever have any damage to your wood floors, if a pot with water overflows or, a pet damages something or a kid does something or whatever, and you just need to peel up a couple of boards, he's amazing at just lacing them in and then just refinishing a spot. He's really, really good. Then he'll save you a lot of money. So refinishing, he does all that. Old flooring, he does all that. I mean, Mike is great. He's not the fastest, but he is very knowledgeable and he's very economical. So again, that kind of goes back to what's your expectation of timeline. And I will say that a contractor's timeline is always different than ours, always. They're just a different breed. And that's okay. But as long as you have that expectation going into it, then it's, you're good. So glass replacement, Tracy's Glass. I just recently found Tracy and he was so good. He came right out the next, we'll see. Okay. So I called him, he made an appointment. He didn't keep the appointment. I called him the next day. I was like, Tracy, I missed you yesterday. He's like, oh, I totally forgot about you. I'll come right out right now. And he came out that afternoon. Came out, gave me quotes, ordered it right there in front of me. It came in the next week. He installed both shower glass doors. He installed all 3 glass doors in my kitchen, everything. He's been great, I haven't had, he does shower doors as well. And he's been cheaper than everybody. Mary, was he on that vendor list? Yeah. No, I don't know. Okay, if he's not on there, Susan, let me know and I'll send you his contact. Okay, but yeah, Tracy's Glass, he's just an independent guy. Him and his buddy will come. Now I also had them quote mirrors because they will cut mirrors too. And he was like, you need mirrors? And I was like, well, you can quote them. But I got mirrors cheaper at G&W Lighting. So. Yep. So, oh, the wallpaper behind me, I got for free. So the wallpaper I went and ordered wallpaper online at a discount and then sent it to this guy that had been recommended to me. And he came over, he's like, can I just come on Christmas Day and hang it? And I was like, well, sure. And then I started thinking, I was like, who's going to work on Christmas Day? And so the kids went back to their dads at noon on Christmas Day, and I didn't have family or anything else to do. So I just came over to the house. I thought I'll just check on him and I probably need to pay him and all the things. So I pulled up a 5-gallon bucket and sat down and talked to him. And so, you know, we just started chatting and I learned that like his kids are all grown and moved out of state. His family's passed away. He didn't have anything else to do. So he wanted to occupy his time and needed to work. And so he's like, you got anything else you want me to hang? Any more wallpaper? I said, well, I don't have any more paper. And he said, oh, I got plenty of paper. And I said, well, I don't want to spend any money on any more paper. And he was like, well, let me show you what I got. And like, I said, well, you know, I'd love an accent wall in my new office. And then he started showing me all these pictures and I was like, well, how much is that? He's like, oh, I just finished a job in the Heights. It's $600 a roll. And I was like, yeah, I can't afford the paper. I have to feed children. And he's like, I'll give you the paper for free. And he said, if you just want to pay me to do it, pay me to hang it. I was like, well, yeah, sure. So $300. He hung the paper. I got it for free. I was like, sweet. So there have been many times where like I've done that. Like I'll sit down, I'll bring my lunch, I'll sit down on the floor, I'll eat with the contractors, I'll get to know them, I'll talk to their wives. If it's hot outside, I'll bring them lemonade, all the things. And when you do that and you do things that other people don't, they'll do things for you. So like I made a habit of doing Corona Friday. So when I'm doing a big remodel, I'll bring over a case of cold Coronas on Friday. At the end of the day. And Jose knows that I do that. And so like he came over to bid the job the first day and he was like, we're gonna have Coronas? And I was like, if you do good, we're gonna have Coronas. So, you know, I've learned that your money will stretch. You know, people like to be treated nicely. And they're not used to that in the contractor world. They're used to people yelling at them. Plaster person, you would need that, Susan. And Tracy's glass is on the vendor list. Jose would probably be my call for plaster. I'd also get Jerry over there for plaster. If neither one of them, just tell them you need you to look at their wall. Need them to look at your wall. And then when they get there, and you obviously know what you're talking about, when they get there and if they say they don't do it, then say, well, who do you know that does? I mean, just start picking their brains. Because I don't have a plaster person per se. Sorry. I can put some feelers out and see who I can find for you. Okay. And have you done everything you need to do to your foundation before you mess with your plaster? Okay. The other thing is that like there's some things that are code that we don't necessarily always know that a permit will require you to meet. Permits will also get in the way a lot of times. If you move a wall, if you upgrade the electrical, then you have to get a permit. And so those are the two things that's like in stone. So if I don't know how, I know Susan's home is older, I know Becca's home is older. I don't know the ages of it. When I say older, I mean built like 1930 and prior. So I don't know the ages, and Mary Nels is also, so I don't know the ages of everybody else's, but at 83 years this year, girl, happy birthday. So I don't know the ages of everyone else, but especially before you go to sell, and your insurance agent may require you to do this every few years too, but a good electrical inspection is not a bad idea. Our electricity has gone from knob and tube to aluminum to copper wiring, and it can be a fire hazard if you don't check into that. And then if you get it upgraded and turned into your insurance agent, it'll make your rate go down, which is great. kitchens, if you need to move in 2 to 5 years, or if you're moving more than 10 years out. So what does your kitchen look like right now, Taylor?
My kitchen is smaller. So my house was built in 97 and like it was move-in ready. That's what we wanted it to be, like very simple starter home. It's our first home. But we have like natural wood cabinets. So they're not like super heavy duty, but they're dark and it's painted blue right now. And so I've been staring at it for 4.5 years. No idea what I want to do, where I want to start. So, because I'm not creative.
Well, I wouldn't say that. And what I would say is they're blue, and that's kind of trendy right now. And so
The walls are blue.
the walls are blue.
The cabinets are like an oak color.
I'd paint them white because that's always going to be a neutral, and it'll never go out of style no matter the year. And then depending on how small your kitchen is, again, you can get a remnant to do in your kitchen.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not uncommon to do an island, one color of granite or quartz, and then the wall countertops another color, so that you're able to get different prices and lower the budget. And then a good cheap, see, I think we don't know what we don't know. And so when I say quotes are free, if you get all the quotes, you get it all out, then you can say, oh, well, this year I can do this, this, and this. And next year I can do this, this, and this. And then it makes it easy, and you know when to knock it out. So, I mean, a backsplash is not going to cost you thousands of dollars, even to have it installed. It's just not. Even in a large kitchen, it shouldn't, unless you're buying crazy hand-painted tiles. I did glass tile, which was a splurge for me, and had it installed, and I only spent $1,500 on the whole thing installed all together. So I would paint the cabinets or have them painted. Quote that too, because you may get in the middle of it and say, I'm done. Somebody else needs to take this over. Bow is my contact for countertops and stone. And I'd have him measure your countertops and then go look at different pieces. And when I go and look at stone, I ask, I'm like, I need your builder grades, and I need you to show me that. And I choose from that. I'll let them know I'm working on a type. They always want to know, what's your budget? And I was like, it's a cheap one. So show me everything cheap. I don't need you to work with me on numbers. I need you to show me the basement, and then I'll go from there, but thanks. And so that's how I work it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
no,
then
that's helpful.
yeah. And then hardware, I just get that from Wade. I mean, he's going to find you stuff that's, 50 cents per knob. And I mean, it's cheap. And then your kitchen's totally different, and you've done it less than $3,000. Thank you, Becca. Okay, back to Becca's question. Who do you know that would do a construction loan here in Central Arkansas? So the Bank of Little Rock is amazing for construction loans. They're a local bank. And then Simmons Bank is also doing construction loans right now too. Best tip to sail through approval. So you're going to need to have all your quotes together. They want to see the numbers. They want to see all the numbers. They want to see a drawing if you're remodeling to the extent, which you would be if you need a loan like that. So, they want to see your design. So you're going to need to have all that drawn out, because they're going to submit all that to an appraiser. And then the appraiser is going to then value it of what it will be worth after the remodel. And then that's how they will value the loan amount. And so that's how to make it sail through. If you get all your quotes ahead of time for everything you're going to need, if you have your drawings, which you'll need your drawings to get your quotes. And then of course, everything that you need with a regular loan, all of your bank account statements, all of your paycheck stubs for the last 3 to 6 months, your tax returns for the last 2 years. But they are tight with money right now, and it is not easy. So you need to look into other options. There are options like HELOCs, so you can get line of credit and then refinance your home after you utilize your line of credit on your current equity. So you could leverage your equity in your home that way. And that's another way to do it rather than just taking out a construction loan. That's another way to look at it. Does that help, Becca?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Baker Cunningham is the contact for construction loans. He's the only one that handles them at Bank of Little Rock.
Baker Cunningham?
Baker Cunningham.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So their main number is 219-9100. I know that. I don't have Baker's direct number, but yeah, 219-9100 is Bank of Little Rock, and ask for Baker.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Holly, thank you. If you'll put his email in the chat, that'd be great. Bathroom remodeling, should we keep the bathtub? Something that can affect the future sale of the house. Okay, great question. Now, and a lot of people do this. They'll eliminate the master bath and just do a huge shower, and that's fine and awesome. Many people don't use a tub. Only do that if you have another tub in your house. If you don't have another tub in your house, when someone else comes along to buy your house and they have toddlers or they do enjoy soaking in a tub, they will not buy your house. I have had so many women come along and a few men that say, I need a tub. I got to soak. I'm ready again. I need a tub. I have to have a tub. This time I'm getting a tub. And if there's not a tub, they won't look at it. They'll just eliminate it from pictures. And so if you're going to eliminate a tub, fine, but make sure you've got a backup tub. Because the other thing is I always say this, you don't know what life throws your way. None of us do. And so you need to think about having a bedroom on the main level, a couch to go to on the main level when and if you get your gallbladder out or you break a leg or whatever. The same thing with a bathtub. You can't always take a shower when life throws things your way. And sometimes you might need a tub. So think about that before you eliminate it. Hardy board. You need it replaced. Yeah. So Tracy, do you do that?
I work for a company called Heavenly Exteriors. It's out of Cabot. Now, my husband and I do vinyl work, but Mike Donnelly, which is the owner of Heavenly Exteriors, he has crews that has done hardy board before. So I could leave that name and number in the chat if you like.
I would do that.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's not easy to find people that do good hardy board work.
I know.
And a lot of times it's not necessarily matching the hardy board, it's matching the paint because you're going to paint the hardy board.
Right.
And so there's a 2-step there. You're going to have to get the hardy board installed and then you're going to have to paint it. And so you're going to need to find someone to match your paint.
That's true. So
yes, Tracy, if you could put their name and number.
You bet. You bet. Thanks.
Becca, Susan, Hollyfish has put Baker Cunningham's email in the chat. Okay, good. You saw that. I'm just now catching up. Elisa, the whole exterior. So when you say that, what do you mean? Not brick. So again, you're just going to need to get quotes. So Tracy obviously does siding. There's another siding person on our vendor list that you can get a quote from as well. He is, feel free to tell him that you're a friend of mine to get him to show up. He's a contractor. And he and my roofer don't get along. And so I have to make sure that that's the other thing I have found hilarious. These men will call me during the day. He left his trash. I need you to know it's not mine. And blah, 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 and they like tattle on one another. And it's like, okay, thanks so much. Oh yeah, they're little boys. It's like they're back in kindergarten. And so you just have to laugh at them and go, okay, you know, do you want me to put them in the corner or what do you want me to do? And then they get it and they disperse. Tracy, can you put okay, you put the phone number, good. Elisa, what's your exterior right now? Brick
Hey,
and
here I am. Brick, it's mostly brick, but there's a portion of the back and then right around, near the roof. And it's 47 years old.
Yeah.
It's like me, needs some little things replaced here and there.
Well, I mean, I tell people all the time, don't expect brick and mortar to last 100 years.
Right.
Without needing a little nip and tuck, and don't expect me to either. So I would say that, I mean, you can replace that board with more wood, more board. And then you could paint the whole thing. You could paint the brick, you could paint the boards, you could paint all of it if you wanted to. So in that case, excuse me, Jerry Harrington and Jose could also give you quotes on just repainting and replacing the board exteriors. And so you could get several different options. So you could get hardy board, you could get vinyl, or you could get more wooden exterior boards. Again, it's going to depend on how long you plan on being there because the wood is not going to last you as long as the other two. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I didn't want to go with I didn't know if vinyl siding would be appropriate. And it's a 3-story house. And
Send me pictures and I'm happy to give you an opinion.
okay, great.
Yep, you've got my number. And that's the other thing. I mean, I'm always happy to give an opinion. You may not like it, but I'm happy to give it.
I know it. Thank you.
Yes. So the other thing I've learned is that, these contractors, they'll ask you, well, what do you want to do? Or, this and that. And I always try to answer a question with a question because I've learned that, well, first of all, that's how I learn. And then second of all, I'm usually going to find a better way by doing that. And so like with my hardwood floors, they were like, well, what stain do you want to use? And this and that, and what finish do you want? And I said, well, what are my options and what do you recommend? And he said, well, I need pictures. I'm like, here are my pictures, but I need to know from you. I need you to tell me this. And I need, what are the different, tell me all the ways. And he did. Gave me all of these different opportunities. He's like, you could do a natural finish, you could do this type of polyurethane, you can do a wash, you can do, I said, okay, now which one's the cheapest? And then that's how I chose. And so many times I'll just always try to answer a question with a question, and then I get it. That's how I get the cheapest option. I have seen people paint vinyl siding. Do not expect it to last. It won't. It's not made for that because the vinyl siding comes with it colored and pigmented. It's got a process made for that, and it's not made for it necessarily to be painted. Now, a painter will probably tell you different in order to get the job and get your money, but that's not what it's made for. Wood is meant to be painted. Hardy board is meant to be painted. That's why you just need to get quotes, and that's why that's important. I mean, tile can even be painted, but again, because there's tile paint, again, that's why it's always important to evaluate how long are you going to be in something. Because do you want to just replace the tile, or do you want to paint it and then sell it and get out? Because you just got to evaluate your long-term goals and how much money you're going to invest in something. Does that make sense? Holly, you had said something earlier, and I need to address. Our builders are asking for money for supplies up front right now due to rising prices and supply distribution. So I would say to go back to the contract you signed with your builder, and it should be cost plus. And so I would say, well, I'll go with you to the lumberyard and I'll buy it, or I can call and, I'd give them a runaround about it a little bit. I would say, I can put it on my credit card or this and that, or if I pay for it, that's fine up front, but I need the receipt. I'd ask for proof of any and all. I wouldn't just hand out free money to my contractors. It just depends on that fee arrangement should have been outlined by them in your builder contract with them. And if they're asking for the money up front due to the rising supply and demand, I don't know that that's just supply and demand distribution more than just the builder. And so I'd question them a little bit on it, and then I'd agree to it, but I'd just go about it probably in a way that takes them out of it, and I wouldn't let them be the middleman. I'd go to the lumberyard, I'd pay for the supplies, I'd go to the tile company, I'd pay for it up front. I'd make sure that I'm the one doing it, that they're not able to get my money. That makes sense. And then I'd still get the receipts, so that when and if they come in, you can say, here it is, I did what you said, you can have it, it's all done. So anything else?
Can I ask like a really oddly specific question?
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned earlier that we are doing home repairs not on purpose. We had a hot water heater burst into our garage, and we're on a concrete slab, and our garage is level with the rest of our house, so the water came into our house underneath the walls. And so I'm trying to look for waterproof baseboard options for our garage, but she's shaking her head no.
Never even heard of such. That doesn't mean they don't exist.
Okay,
Not many people have baseboards in their garage.
that's true.
It's a garage.
We do. We've heard of PVC baseboards. That was something that somebody came back. So I don't know. I just thought I'd ask the question.
It does. I am not the be all end all know all of everything at all. And so that doesn't mean that things aren't out there. It just means I haven't seen it or heard it. Now, my question would be, how durable is that? How long does that last? How good, how well is that going to adhere with paint? All those things.
All those things.
Yeah. And then again, it's a garage. Do you think when you go sell it that someone's going to go in there and go, it's missing baseboards?
No, but since this wasn't the first time we've had this issue, I wouldn't like to have a mitigation company come out and rip my drywall out again. So
right.
Not like prevention. Then
I'm going to make sure that you filed an insurance claim to cover all that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Let's
Yeah.
Becca just mentioned something very, very crucial. You can get a sensor that'll warn you if water reaches anywhere that's important for you, whether it's a crawl space. She has one where their sump pump is. That's very, very key, especially in areas that we have that are crawl spaces and basements in Arkansas because of our humidity. Yep, a tankless hot water tank. How long are you planning on staying there? They've gone up in price. I just installed one, and it was my third one to install, and I was really surprised at how much it had gone up in price.
Yeah, they were pretty pricey, and we weren't planning to stay here long, and it looked like the ones available didn't make sense for our situation. But no, I definitely looked into that as well. Thank you, Susan, because yeah.
So my plumber quoted me $2,200 to install it. And then I got another quote from Jerry Harrington because he has plumbers on staff too, and it was $1,800. So that's what I did. So again, I mean, you're going to save money every little way. Yeah. Front doors, storm doors. Installation was awful. So I had doors installed by Jose, and he's great. He's so detailed, extremely detailed. I can't say enough good things about him. Just got called to dinner. Thank you, Susan. Have a good night. Yes, Jose Quintanilla, he's on the sheet that we emailed. He's amazing. I've been using him for almost 12 years now. He has helped me with all 5 remodels now. And I have used his crews extensively. He has pared down his business so that he has more individual control now, to where it's him and just 2 workers. So he's on the job site almost every day. He's great. Tax credits are huge. And tax credits with windows are not what they used to be, which is disappointing. There are tax credits with solar panels right now, which are interesting. But the tax credits for a lot of things have disappeared in the last 4 years. But I'm not an accountant, so you need to check into that. Elisa, you be nice to Jose. You need to talk to him very sweetly. Anything else? I'm trying to think. The color, I use the same color throughout my entire house. On my cabinets, my walls, my trim, everything's the same color. First of all, it made it cheaper. They were just able to spray everything and it was done. I used Dove White and that was it. And then on my hardwoods, I just did I left them natural, and then did a polyurethane on them, and that was it. So, I mean, it's just like anything else when you go shopping. You know, you can show them a picture of what you want and say, now show me how I can do this for cheap, and show me what you have. And then you don't, I think or at least I do, I always feel that I have to buy something right then, and I have to talk myself out of that, because I don't. I can go and look at their tile and then I can leave. I can think on it. I can go shop some more. I can look online. I can call them back and, you know, and say, hey, do you have this? Home Depot has this. What's the price? Can you match it? Or is yours cheaper? And things like that. And I've learned that I need to be more patient, and I've got to do that and price match. Appliances, there is, oh, I'm going to forget the name. Off University. I don't think it's on our list. It's not Larry's. It's, does somebody know what I'm talking about? No, Metro in Maumelle. And if you're wanting, you know, brand new appliances with warranties and all those things, you need to go to Metro. You need to talk to David down there. And then also ask him about the scratch and dent section. They get things in all the time that are just the wrong color. And it's amazing. And that's where I got all mine. Yes, Mary Nell, it's the place, yeah, Metro David Perry. It's off University. I think it's like Nikki's or something like that. It's a huge warehouse of nothing but appliances. They're basically all brand new, but they're not going to give any of them a warranty. But they're all at half the price. So it's a fantastic resource. When and if you need a washer or dryer, let me know and I'll figure it out. I'm trying to think of what else. There's some odd people on that list that you may never need, like a brick mason. Those people are not easy to find. It's kind of a dying art. So sometimes if you have an older home and it needs some shoring up, it needs some tuck and pin work, a brick mason is who you need to call. And so he's in there. I've used him for almost every single remodel I've needed. They're also good to use and have for your fireplace work. So I've had to, thanks Taylor, I've used, a chimney sweep to come and always check out my fireplaces. And then they'll recommend repairs and things like that. So then I'll have the brick mason come in behind them and say, okay, what really needs to be done? Give it to me straight, rather than, the chimney sweep who's there to make money. And then that's how I go about it. Gas logs, Congo Stove Works is really the only town that has a variety. I recently went down there and was looking at all their stuff, and I looked over in the corner and I said, how much are those balls? And then I realized what I'm saying out loud. And so they have these concrete fireballs and they arrange them in a display, and it's really cool. And then the soot gets on them, and so they're cement gray, and then they get charred black, and they're really pretty. And so I've ordered those actually to go in my new fireplace. They should be here in a couple weeks. And they were almost half the price of the gas logs, and they still put out the same amount of heat. But they give a more of a contemporary look. So I'm really excited to see how those turn out. I've seen them in a couple of houses, and I've never been able to find them anywhere. So I'm excited to get those in. Trying to think if there's anything else. Are pre-assembled cabinets bad? I've never used them. And I don't know that bad would be the word. And everybody's is going to look different. I don't know. I'd quote that out. I would quote a cabinet maker, customizing cabinets versus the pre-assembled ones. To me, I would think that that's gonna, I don't know how those can't be just as much. I just don't. I mean, they're gonna have to put them together, just like a swing set. Then they're still gonna have to paint them and all the things. So Kimberly Cabinets out of Cabot is who I've used. I started using them on my third new construction. And then after that, I've used them ever since. So I've used them for 6 jobs now. They will drive everywhere. The guy that came, it took him one day, he was really late because he was coming from a job in Batesville. So I know they go all over. They are a very small mom and pop cabinet shop, and they work out of Cabot. And so the taxes are lower, their overhead's low, so they keep your prices low. So again, I just get a quote from them just to double check and see. Kimberly. So what happened, the family, it's a family. There were 4 brothers and sisters. Their sister Kimberly died of a very rare kidney cancer, and they named the cabinet company after her. So it's Kimberly Cabinets. Actually, the living 3 siblings all live here in Little Rock. But again, the cabinet shop and the company is located in Cabot, so they can keep their overhead low. Does that make sense? But that's what I would do. I appreciate you, dear. Carpet, we haven't talked much about carpet. I'd price out LTV flooring before I'd go with carpet. That's your high-end commercial grade laminate that they're laying now that looks like hardwoods. I'm seeing it in new constructions that cost $500,000 and up. So it's a really high-end product now. But that's what I would encourage you to go with rather than carpet. If you just need something on the bottom of your feet fuzzy, then I use CNF flooring and talk to Megan. Another thing is can lights. You know what I'm talking about in the ceiling? Everybody calls them something different. Recessed can lights. They're real cheap. And so if you're remodeling and you're going to install new light fixtures, I encourage you to look into just getting can lights put in. So like in my bathroom, I didn't have wiring put in and all that for new light fixtures. I just put in can lights. For my dining room, I took out the chandeliers and I just put in can lights. So like now I don't have to worry about if I ever get a new table or lining it up with a chandelier, I can put it wherever I want because the can lights are just in the room, and it lights it up. So it's one, going to save you money, and it's two, going to allow you to grow with your home and redecorate whenever you choose. They're only like $50 a pop. The other thing is under cabinet and above cabinet and then floor cabinetry, under cabinetry lighting is done with just LED rope lighting now, which is really inexpensive. And then an electrician has to wire it, of course. Then they'll just nail it in. It's a huge upgrade, but very inexpensive. I did not change my heating and air at all, but I did change all the grates. So it looks like they're all new. Does that make sense? So I went and got all brand new vent grates throughout the whole house in every room. So it looks like the heating and air is newer, and it doesn't show the old vents. Even though my units are not old, but they're not brand new. So there we go. I also can't emphasize how much paint will make a difference in anything and everything. And it's really cheap. I'm about done. I don't know. I just wanted to my main goal was to show up and address everybody's needs. If you have any questions about the real estate market, I'm happy to help. If you remember what it was like to not have toilet paper, that's kind of what real estate's like right now. We can't find houses on the market, just like you couldn't find toilet paper. So if you know of anybody looking to move in the next year or two, I'd love to know who they are. I need to just show their house possibly one time. I don't need to list it. I'm not looking to do that. I'm just trying to service the clients that I have right now. But we are in desperate need of inventory, and rates are really, really good. So we'd be happy to help them find something else and everything, and negotiate a very long delayed possession so that they'd be comfortable. But thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it and your participation, and it helps so many others. And let me know how I can always be of help. And please email me or text me or call me if I can help with anything else. It was so good to see so many of you and hear you, especially in a pandemic. Love you long time, Holly. So y'all have a great night. Happy Monday. Bye, Holly.
Thanks, Claire. Appreciate you.
Appreciate
It's great.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.